Good morning, welcome on board. Good to have your company this lovely morning, and thank you so much for choosing the National Broadcaster. My name is Sandra Kahunda. As always, happy to be here, happy to share and listen to different stories that come through from the ladies out there in the various fields, and still celebrating the women in ICT, that is in regards to health. And we've had so many specialists out there as far as health is concerned, and we've been talking about mental, maternal, herbal treatments, nutrition, wellness, all that and so much more are just right here during these various episodes we've been bringing to you since the month of March. Today, yes, you did request, you wanted to have Carol yet again, Carol Ayebare, the biomedical engineer, to share lots of her stories. And something we felt something we didn't air out that particular time. You're going to get to know more about Carol. And of course, interestingly, still on the same conversation for today's episode, we're going to be talking about cybersecurity. Yes, I have a lady. I'm joined by Peace Ella Ambassa. She's into she's a cybersecurity specialist. Well, she did computer engineering, and we want to find out which common ground, because we need each other. You know, you need to lift a sister's hand. And how has health incorporated the aspect of ICT to ease their work? The previous episode we had, Carol did let us know the various equipments we have and more that needs to be done for us to have a better life, and of course, safety when it comes to Ugandans out there. And today we want to get to know, does Carol need the cybersecurity specialist? We need to have a common ground. That and much more for this particular program. Giving us insight this morning, Carol, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you once again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And the cybersecurity specialist, Ella, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thanks for making time.
You're welcome.
Well, our conversation is going to begin right now, but not forgetting it's a national broadcaster. We still have updates that will be coming your way later on, and I shall be letting you know. I want to cross over to the live broadcast that is in Manyonyo. A lot is happening there. But for now, conversation starts now. Yes, you know, I am a gossiper. I am a gossiper, eh? Yes. Journalism is all about letting the people get to know, and we're here to celebrate the women. So we need to salute Carol for standing out the previous year and being the best student when it comes to biomedic itself as a profession that you took. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sandra.
It's something you didn't want to tell us, and we did get to know. Maybe a hand up for you for standing out. Tell us, taking you way back before we get into our talk of discussion this morning, how was it like when you got the news that you're the best student?
Wow, how was it like? Thank you for the question. It's a very interesting one. Well, firstly, I was awed and joyful, knowing that in everything, you know, you've pushed through, because obviously at the start, there were more gentlemen in the class, in my class. By the time we started, I think we were about 10 ladies in the course, and about 35 gentlemen. So you can see that kind of margin and things like that. And so getting in there, but firstly, I appreciate my father, who covered me through it all and encouraged me every step of the way, and was with me all the way for me to accomplish that level and accomplish that task. Well, to also take you back, personally, I did want medicine, but I wanted engineering. So biomedical engineering formed the middle ground for me to merge medicine. Yes, I wanted medicine, but didn't want to look at the blood. Didn't necessarily want to, you know, have to be in there and be there and have the look at the entire scene, the one cutting, and then the engineering side of it. And so biomedical engineering formed the merging for me to be able to bring on board technologies that can help medical professionals, the doctors, the nurses, this kind of equipment that they need. They're not the end in themselves, but then they are a tool for them to be able to diagnose and treat these things. So throughout the course, yes, our lecturers did support us. They did support the ladies, they did push us the lecturers at my institution, Bara University of Science and Technology, they did encourage us, and so it was lovely to finally get the news. And you know what topped it off was the Engineering Registration Board actually calling to say, we want to recognize you. Because at that point they had selected the best engineers from the various institutions, Makerere, Chambogo, and all the Kabale University, all those national government institutions, and they were recognizing them. So besides just the university, getting national recognition by the Engineers Registration Board, it was quite remarkable for me to know that, and to be an inspiration to many out there, knowing that you can make it, you can do this, you can get in. Yes, some struggles may come in somewhere, some hiccups, some potholes, things here and there, but then being able to push through, having that person that will continuously encourage you, that person that will hold you on your hand and be there for one another. Even within the class itself formed some cohesive kind of bond to be able to push every single one of us through, to hold each other's hands. Even the gents actually in my class, when they would realize maybe one of the ladies is lagging in a certain course unit, they would put a hand and they say, okay, we're going to put a discussion and help you through this. So we need each other, and for that, I honestly, what was the experience at that point? It was joyful.
Good response coming through.
Yes, it was very, very joyful and and awing.
And the challenge should be like, I need to go an extra mile once again, do things right, and maybe be an inspiration still to other women out there.
Absolutely, we are still going on. It's not.
It's just the beginning for you.
Yeah, it's just a milestone of, yeah, this is done. But there is the next level. You know, my father... You need to
upgrade, you need to do more research still in the same field?
Yes, my father always tells me that the end of one journey is the beginning of a new one. So in as much as we celebrate the success, but you've not stopped there, there is something more to achieve. So you must keep going until you reach that mark that you've been called for. Yes, and then, yeah, you will know.
Yes, we had to break the ice. We had to break the ice, and of course, congratulations once again.
Thank you, Sandra.
Well, let's get to Ella, cybersecurity, a specialist. Tell us more about you and the kind of course that you did.
Okay. My name is Peace Ella Vasa. I did computer engineering for 4 years at Makerere University. I graduated in the year 2022. It was the month of May. Yes, how I got to have a passion for cybersecurity, because computer engineering really mostly focuses on programming and the hardware bit of computers, repair, maintenance, the architecture, basically. So what caught my eye about cybersecurity was a lot of the movies I would watch, there was hacking, there was, you know, something to do with the safety of devices connected digitally to the internet. Yeah, so after getting this passion, I happened to see a flyer for an application to a Cyber Girls Fellowship. Now, Cyber Girls Fellowship is sponsored by CyberSafe Foundation, and it's based in Lagos, Nigeria. So I happened to apply, and by the grace of God, I was able to get in, right? So now we are doing all this training, and it's really helping me out. Yes, it's helping me know exactly which part of cybersecurity I want to do, because also cybersecurity has different parts. You can choose to be among those who are analyzing the different incidents that have happened over the years. When a particular system has been hacked, you analyze what went wrong here, who was it, you know, or you can be among those who are actually doing the hacking. Now, we call it ethical hacking, whereby someone has built a system and then you try to penetrate it and look for the different vulnerabilities in it. What really caught my attention, in the year 2019, I happened to see, I saw it in around 2021, I believe, 2022, but in the year 2019, 1st January, there was a certain man of God, Prophet Elvis Simbonye, and he gave a prophetic word about a major hacking about banks in the UK, right? So back then, I believe no one really
paid attention to it.
Yes.
They were like, you know, when the prophecy comes, you're like, what is he talking about? When will it even come to pass?
Exactly. So this prophecy came to pass 2 months later, right? So if the prophet says major banks in the UK are going to be hacked, and it even goes to credit card systems, one would think that people are going to be like more cautious or something. But surprisingly, yeah, people wake up to find, oh, my account has been hacked, you know, and then there are all these controversies, people making losses and everything, but the word has come to pass, right? So that made me intrigued made me more curious about cybersecurity. Like, okay, how do banks get hacked?
Yeah, like to you it sounded like it's impossible. It can't be. There has to be a better system that has been put in place.
Exactly.
That's
yes.
what was
how
running
to
in your mind.
prevent such other incidents from happening. Yeah.
So how is it like for you being in that particular field, especially with our nation Uganda? Of course, I know it is also experience the cyber threat issue. How is it like for you?
Okay, I've realized.
Haven't you been intimidated by the men? Because I know with the women, I know there's that kind of sympathy that comes through. You want to do things and leave. You want to do and leave. You know, I'll finish tomorrow. I'll finish later. But for the guys, there's the way they try to settle in, and they're like, this is me. They define.
Okay.
So how has it been like for you?
The good thing about the Cyber Girls Fellowship is it's majoring mainly on girls, right? So you have this group of girls you're with, they become your family, you do things together, right? So if you realize your fellow girl is having some issues, you chip in and help her, right? We constantly remind ourselves about the deadlines and, you know. Yes, regarding the men, I haven't really felt that thing yet. Yeah, but I believe once I step into the field, the actual field, there will be a lot of collaboration.
You also you have to stand and be firm, because at the end of the day they need the touch that comes from the women.
Absolutely.
Yes, they do.
So trying to figure it out. We all need each other in this space, in the tech space. Carol needs Ella and Ella needs you. So which kind of common ground would you have at the end of the day? She deals with equipments each and every single time. Equipments at the hospital, and there has to be safety as well.
Yes.
But then the systems in there, of course, they require the software and the hardware and that kind of technical talk.
Yes.
Yes, Carol, break it down for us.
Thank you, Sandra. Well, over the past 10 years, according to the World Health Organization, literally health has been evolving in technology. And so there are all these different platforms, apps that are coming up. Now, where does she come in? Cybersecurity. All these apps and applications and platforms, for example, the National Health Services, it has a National Health Services Choices platform where patients' data is uploaded. Now, this works in the UK, whereby the patients can access general practitioners. They send out maybe the symptoms they're feeling and all these things, and then the decision support system helps to send through information on maybe this can be this, do this and this, take this kind of prescription, or come see a doctor, or the general practitioners actually call them. So those are systems that have been set up. There are also these apps that help to inform pregnant mothers or remind them about their antenatal visits, so that we don't have any antenatal cases. Because even in Uganda and the sub-Saharan Africa, there have been quite a number of cases about women and they're in the pregnancy period, where they tend to either maternal health care, they lose the child, or the mother herself, something like that, their health is compromised. So there are all those applications that have been created to, literally health it is getting into the digital space in the general perspective. So with cybersecurity, we need them. Because like she said, she talked about ethical hacking. When a biomedical engineer creates because even biomedical engineers get into creating software, it depends on which side you actually choose to go into. There is management of healthcare technology, there is innovations and research, and within the innovation, obviously there is software that has to be created because all our equipment run based on software. For example, the ultrasound machine, someone will come and, you know, they just put a probe on their belly and things like that. But then in the background, there is all this software that's communicating different things now, sends the signals, forms the image, and all you see on the screen is...
all you ask is, which sex do I have? How is my baby?
Or can I hear the heartbeat?
How is my baby doing?
Yes, things like that. So all this contains a lot of patient data information. So how do we protect that data? How do we protect our systems from being hacked? Because once the patient data leaks, that is inappropriate. It legally binds you to certain cases and things like that. So with the cybersecurity analysts and consultants, they help to protect our systems. She talked about the ethical hacking, whereby when a system has been created, you try to hack it yourself to ensure it is actually trustworthy and cannot be hacked by any other person outside.
Yes, testing for the
you test and okay.
So they are hackers.
They are hackers.
Yes.
I'm trying to think about the trustworthy bit of it. Are you trusted?
Oh, yes, because
someone will be like, you're creating a system for me, but at the end of the day, you might be the same person.
Okay, there are incidents actually where someone is hired to test a system, then instead they go behind the employer's back and actually take advantage of that vulnerability. But it's not ethical, so we don't really encourage it. Don't do it.
There has to be you need to get the Bible and hold so tight
a contract
to make the
something
vows
like that. Yes.
You take an oath
okay,
before the company, the company executives, that you won't hack the system.
True.
How would you regard Uganda when it comes to cybersecurity? Because I know in other nations they've experienced it and they're up onto their toes, creating ways on how to, to turn around and have a better system, a proper trusted system. But how is it like here in Uganda?
Okay, so far what I've seen in Uganda, many times, usually when incidents happen, when systems are hacked into, the executives try to cover it up instead of finding a solution for it, right? Because you're going to go to your bank account one day, find no money, or a particular amount has been withdrawn, and you're trying to ask questions via Twitter, via everything, and you're not getting any response. So I would encourage the systems, the organizations to actually embrace cybersecurity analysts and consultants as well as specialists in order to fight these incidents, to prevent
not to wait for the calamity or for such a crisis.
Yes,
they should employ them at the
panicking.
back.
Exactly.
Okay, and then not to cover up. It should be out there in case something goes wrong.
I think it also depends, because sometimes the covering up may be to protect some people, but also it affects other people. So it's like a two-way street, 50% winning, 50% losing. Yes.
To make this better, to make the entire system better, the cybersecurity aspect of it, which kind of key players should a country or a nation focus on?
Okay.
Because I know maybe at police there's that bit of it. Such services are there.
Yes.
Yes, but to make it better.
Okay, I believe the banks should really have this particular department, as well as the mobile money agencies, right? The telecommunication companies, Airtel and MTN. Yeah, among the many others in Uganda.
And the health systems.
And the health systems as well. Because now you see, if a patient is on a certain machine that is digitally controlled, and then someone happens to hack into it, not only do you lose patient data, but they could be malicious enough to maybe raise the patient's heart rate or kill them.
We see such things in the movies and we're like, they're too far, it's something that cannot happen. You cannot relate with it right where in that particular country you're in. You're like, no, it can't happen to us.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
That is really interesting. We need to know, are we really safe, especially when it comes to even the phones themselves, the communication that goes through. You'll be letting us know how what we need to do to really be safe.
All right.
Just getting to Carol.
Yes, please.
The variety when it comes to your profession, I'm thinking there must be a lot to tap from there, and not just standing out to be a biomedical engineer. For someone who wants to take the path that you took, varieties, different courses that one can enroll.
That lead to biomedical engineering or different?
The different, like, you could have specialized to be a biomedical engineer, but I'm thinking there could be specially, like for a journalist, you can concentrate in print, you do broadcast. Yes, there's a lot to tap.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you for the question.
Because earlier on, you wanted to divert and do medicine, but then you're contemplating, you're like, medicine, I'll be able to see blood and I don't want to see it. It's kind of sensitive for you. So you had to switch and make a choice.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Thank you for that. It's a very interesting one and a very intriguing one for myself as well. Yeah. Medicine is good. We need the medical practitioners. But the gadgets are good. Yes, trust me, the gadgets are very, very good to know that you can put your mind to something, because what would the doctor use to diagnose some of these things? So getting back to your question, what are the diversions that someone could go into? Well, looking at biomedical engineering itself, it is wide. Biomedical engineers work in any place, anywhere. For example, with your mobile phone, how safe do you think it is for you to tap on the screen? Are your fingers safe?
That's another thing.
Are your eyes safe?
And
looking into the light? Yes, so biomedical engineers are very dynamic people. They are in any field, they are applicable in any field, be it in audits, be it in the regulatory. So with biomedical engineering, really it is a free world. And then you choose your area and you soar, because you can go in the clinical engineering where you manage hospital technology, hospital equipment, the management of it that comes from the managing the purchases when they're being procured, and then from the installations to the user training to the management, maintenance and servicing. Then there is a biomedical engineer going into a manufacturing site, the manufacturing world, where the equipment is actually being manufactured, where you advise on the different modifications and which aspects should be included, because you understand the anatomy and the physiology. There is that bit. That is manufacturing of medical equipment. There is going into manufacturing of cars. How safe is the car for a human being? Because with a biomedical engineer, you understand the anatomy and physiology firstly, and now you apply the engineering principles. So there is a whole lot. So biomedical engineering looks at it is comprised of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, water engineering, computer engineering itself, software engineering. So it is a whole lot, because you're looking at all the engineering principles that you can apply. So even a computer engineer, software engineer can go into biomedical engineering. Just that they would, with their software skills, software engineering skills, electrical engineering skills, because electrical looks at the electric and electronics.
But rather theirs would be just kind of a component when it comes to yours.
Yes, okay. It would be a bit of just a component that is adding to the bigger picture, which is the biomedical application of engineering to health and medicine. Yes, because all these are principles. They're the traditional engineering sectors that we've always known. You know, when actually in the field, when you talk about biomedical engineering, someone's like, okay.
What is it all about?
What do you do?
Exactly, because I was there to ask, are you where you are right now? And of course, you're qualified and you've been in the field itself.
Yes.
Would you sit and fold your hands and you're like, yes, Uganda, here we are, here we come, or there's really a lot that has to be done?
Well, firstly, the Engineering Registration Board has recognized biomedical engineers now to know that they are also engineers. Besides, because previously the engineers that were registered were electrical, mechanical, maybe automotive engineers and things like that. But now the biomedical engineers are coming on board. By the time the Engineering Registration Board called me to recognize, yes, biomedical engineers, so they've brought them on board. Then we also have UNAME, which looks at medical engineers within the medical field. So there is that inclusiveness that is coming in, though we are yet to go on the broader perspective to know that biomedical engineers are not just tied to health. They're not just tied to you don't just have to sit in the hospital.
The various fields or different,
yes,
it can be applied elsewhere.
Yes, it can be applied elsewhere, but currently in Uganda, still, like I said before, it focuses more on clinical engineering. So it is for one to know, yes, I want to be a biomedical engineer. I want to apply the engineering principles to solve health challenges, but I don't necessarily want to sit in the hospital. Maybe I want to be in the automotive manufacturing side and or look
and innovations.
At yes, innovations
will come through.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's why from one shouldn't be limited to what they can do. Yes.
Wow, so broad and so
Yes.
diverse, quite interesting and unique, of course, I should say.
Yes.
Someone would be wondering, trying to figure it out, and like, could be an expensive course. Which kind of universities offer it?
Wow.
We'll be getting to know that. Carol will be sharing that and much more. Just moving to Ella, how safe are we? In Uganda, or maybe on an individual, individual basis. I have a phone, and of course someone would really tap, get to know my conversations and all that much more. How safe are we with the kind of experience that you have so far?
Oh, okay. So far, and the way I've been seeing the social media patterns, you know, everyone announcing their private lives, not really, not so safe, you know, because you could be going for vacation, and when you post it like on Twitter, you know, all your followers can see what you've posted, and it's not like you know all of them. So some may be having shady characters, and they know, oh, your house is now empty. So they use this as an opportunity to benefit from your travel. Yes, but also people are easily manipulated. Agency, you know, a hacker can use agency as a way to make someone give out information. For example, if you're working in a particular company, you receive a phone call and someone's like, I can't get into this. Okay, they make you panic, and then you end up giving out confidential information, right? Yes, and also manipulation. Sometimes you receive emails that look like they're from the right place, but yet actually they are not. That's what we call phishing in the cybersecurity world. So yes,
before you got to the, like, the office was here. This is where they were located, and there's no one. There's no one at the end of the day. The office is totally empty.
Exactly.
Wow. So on any video basis, one has to take caution not to post all the information and things like that.
Yes.
And then as a nation, which percentage would you give us? Like, where do we stand? Should we really be on our toes? Does it call for action? Like Ugandans, we need to be awake.
I would give Ugandans 40%. Yes, because people try to have these really strong passwords. Yes, and I realize even, in health facilities, when they buy equipment, I believe somehow they change the password somewhere. Because usually when you buy equipment from the manufacturers, they usually have default settings, default passwords, default usernames. So usually when you're deploying them out, maybe into a medical facility, you can change the password in that very few trusted people get to know this information, such that it's not easily hacked into, and it's not also easily available to each and everyone who may want to access it.
So Ella can really sit in a hacker's mind and try to imagine what runs through their mind.
Yes.
What really happens?
I believe, according to what I've watched videos about and read about, usually it comes from a place of you want to know what you can do, right? Out of curiosity in the beginning, you know, oh, can I hack this bank? Can I hack this person's phone? Can I hack this person? You know, Facebook gets hacked a lot because you keep on receiving messages from your Facebook friends, yet it's actually the attacker. They are making you tap links to certain videos and everything, then you find your account has been compromised. Yes, but it's mainly out of curiosity. The first time, I believe it's out of curiosity. Now, then when you get to know you can do it, now you want to know
addicted.
how
far you can go. Can you get the money from that bank?
Yeah.
After curiosity, they get addicted. Wow.
Yeah, but and it's also
You'll
not
be giving us tips.
Yeah, not
on how we
really
can.
the money, but also information. You know how companies have patents, like a biomedical engineer could have something they have invented or innovated, and they have the patent rights to it, and they are keeping them maybe
even government information that comes through.
Yes, exactly. So once they get to know how much your patent is worth, it's really
So it's beyond money.
it really is.
Curiosity. Wow. She's also trying to figure it out.
Honestly,
we are not safe at all.
How safe are we to even put information on that, to store our information on the cloud?
Because
cloud systems, and isn't it accessible if I have my patent and I've secured it somewhere?
Well, as long as usually we advise people first of all not to have the same password for everything. You know, someone could make a Gmail account and then they use a password, Facebook, Twitter.
It's the same password.
Yeah.
Even to your,
and it's really easy.
Even to your mobile money account.
Yeah. So usually people use their birthdays as pins and what, and we really don't advise that, because if someone knows you, they can easily guess. You know, your birth date, your anniversary, your, you know.
Those are the tips we were looking for.
Yes.
Some of the tips so that we can also, you know, don't run into those issues.
Exactly. Using your loved one's name as a password or your favorite movie, like those things are easily, they're easily guessed. So usually when you're creating a password, first of all, you there are some websites that actually have hints. Should I say hints? They tell you must have a capital letter, must have lowercase, must have a special character, must be maybe 20 characters long, must have a number, right? Yeah, so these hints guide as people are making passwords for their different accounts. Yes.
But there's even forgetting. So someone is like, at the end of the day, I might end up forgetting the lowercase, the uppercase, and then there's a number somewhere. So they go with the easier one.
What is easy
for them to remember.
Yes, true. I understand this, but we also have offline and online password managers, right? Because if you use Google Chrome, usually they suggest a strong password for you, then they save it for you. But it also has a disadvantage in that when your Google is hacked into, someone can easily get those passwords. So I encourage both online and offline password managers.
Nice tip. Carol, for someone out there wants to walk your path,
Yes.
what can they really do? I know parents try to think about those courses and they're like, it's quite expensive investing in a child to take that path.
Wow.
The advantages that come through with it, is it really paying back for you? You can't sit and look back and you're like, I wish I did medicine.
Really?
Even, for example, even doing cybersecurity itself, you can't figure yourself there.
Honestly, I don't regret doing biomedical engineering. It is fulfilling for me, you know, to sit there and know that I am managing the equipment, I'm doing my maintenance and servicing, or I am innovating, and all this equipment, it's actually going out there and helping the community. It is being used by medical doctors to actually find the diagnosis, to diagnose the patients, or deliver treatments. For example, there are syringe pumps and infusion pumps. patients no longer just have, you know, a drip and then they just open. There are pumps that have been delivered, volumetric pumps, that, you know, deliver a drug at a particular time. So that itself is quite fulfilling. So for one to take my path, it is not hard.
They would strive in Uganda. They're doing it and they're like, okay, to have a better ground, I need to work elsewhere. I need to take my skills to another continent.
Well. Thank you very much for that. Looking at that, Uganda is still, like I said before, Uganda is still growing in the biomedical field. It is a course that it has been in Uganda for, I think, about, it's not really as old as these other traditional engineering courses, and so we are beginning to get recognized in the different spaces as per now. So for one who would like to take my path, I must say it is fulfilling. Yes, if you have that drive to innovate and invent, even the computer engineers who develop software for the health system, they are also very much appreciated because they can also be considered almost as biomedical engineers, because they are applying engineering to solve health challenges or to solve medical challenges. So in Uganda, there are a number of universities that actually do offer biomedical engineering. There is Makerere University, there is Kyambogo University, there is Mbara University of Science and Technology, there is Ernest Cook, it's an institution in Mengo, and they all offer, even at bachelor's level, in biomedical engineering. Actually, Mbara University has started masters as well in biomedical engineering. And so there are all these opportunities that are there, but one must, for one to come out on top and want to thrive and have that drive, you must not confine yourself to, I've studied from Uganda, and so this is how things are done in Uganda, because biomedical engineering, literally all these courses and all these areas and sectors, you look at the international standard. Even when we look at cybersecurity, yes, maybe credit card systems were hacked. It may not have happened yet in Uganda,
but we need to be
we need to be on our feet. We need to be on our toes, because it is something that will come. And so you as a person, you must read outside the box. You must think outside the box and look at what exactly is happening out there. How is the system out there working? Not you looking at, I am working at a facility in Uganda, the company is in Uganda, this is how things are done, this is how nurses work, this is how the medical doctors move. But then, what is the international standard? How are things done internationally? How do biomedical engineers carry themselves internationally? It may not have happened yet, but we are building ground for it.
So that you practice it much better here rather than focusing elsewhere.
Yes, because when we keep in the loop of this is how things are done, we are keeping Uganda at that level.
It has to start with us.
Yes, it has to start with us. We must grow. We must get to those levels. So even if it's going out there, learn from the systems out there, do your masters abroad, or even if it's do your bachelor's abroad, learn how they're doing it. Maybe look at a facility out there, get back and get into the system and actually build up the system. Develop Uganda, build Uganda, do things at an international level, because every one of us, whatsoever we've reached, even in the health sector, it is not that it is the way medicine was practiced those days. You know, previously, the nurses would
to go away and move away from the traditions.
Yes, the nurses would inject, and a scar would remain.
I'm telling you, and then the swelling would come at the end of the day.
Talk about it. I don't really know whether it was the needles those days or the syringes.
What they were using previously.
Yes, but lately, someone does it and there is no scar, there is no sign, no
nothing. And then by the time they get your vein, they would have you have of how many piercings. By the time they land on one.
Yes.
So at least things, we've moved away.
Yes, we've moved away. And so as we continue to evolve, we ourselves must learn how things are being done. How is the national health systems doing their thing? How are they practicing? How are they doing their health? If health is being digitized and mobile phone apps are actually coming up. You know, there is actually a mobile application for ultrasound, whereby all you need is just buy a probe that has its input is almost like a USB, so it can fit in the phone, and you can go and do your ultrasound.
From home?
Yes.
In your comfort room?
Yes, and you know, you'll see the picture from the phone, or your tablet, or your laptop.
Always checking on your baby, how
Yes.
the baby is functioning.
Yes.
Quite amazing.
So-
Such innovations need to come through.
Yes, they have been built, they have been made. So if that's where the
And do you have
world
it in
is
Uganda?
going,
Oh,
yes,
that's where we're headed.
some areas, actually Kihefo, Kigezi, there's a facility in Kabale, Kihefo, and they have that application. Sometimes they go into villages for mothers that do not have the facilities to actually, or
access
yes.
to go to the health centers at some point, and they find them at home.
Yes, they find them at home, do their ultrasound checks from there, and then they diagnose and provide such services, and then they move back.
So we move away from the traditions of like, I need to know the sex of my baby, so you hold very early in the morning and trying to figure out left, right. Whichever side the baby is, that's how it will determine the sex.
I didn't even know about that one of having to hold and see. But everywhere technology is evolving. It's growing. We are getting into the digital world everywhere. Even the World Health Organization recognizes it and has said literally health is being digitized. And so we must harness technology. And that is why even from a younger level or the lower levels of education, we need to be introduced to technology. Because I've seen actually in a number of videos and things out there online where young children are being taught these hacking skills.
Oh, yes.
I don't know, in the
Do you have a few
in
at
the
your center?
cybersecurity Lagos.
Oh.
Do you have some, what's the age group that,
Yes.
that is
Oh,
within?
this is this particular one is 18 to 25 years old. Yes, I'm yet to find out if they are doing
There's
anything
room
for the
for such younger ones. Eh?
Yes.
Okay. Would you appreciate how Uganda is handling the cybersecurity issue?
We are getting there. I believe we are getting there. And I agree with Carol. Yes, not being fixated on our local
The old
maybe
traditions
standards.
and the way of doing things.
But even after going to maybe master skills internationally, bringing them back to raise Uganda. Because those particular countries didn't just wake up and they were at that level. Yes, they also started from somewhere, something that many people don't like to agree with. Yeah, so I really agree with her, going
An extra
international.
mile.
Yes.
Not just you know, you're in your own cocoon, your own world,
And
you're
you
like,
don't know how
I
anything
am
else is
safe. I have
working.
the right passwords. No one can hack into my things, and that's the end of the day.
Exactly.
But looking beyond, as far as Uganda is concerned,
Exactly.
fine, you could have rated it at 40%, and it's still a journey that we're on to get there on how to handle that particular vice. But what really needs to be done?
Okay, I believe people need to become more aware of their privacy and security,
And
right?
the organizations themselves.
Yes, because usually when people were translating, let me say, to the smartphone era, before we had button phones and you could just make calls, SMS, yeah. But as we graduated into the smartphone era, now we became connected, globally, internationally to the internet, and the internet is a whole other world, right? So people put their information in. Obviously, in the beginning, they were cautious. Why do these guys want my name? Why do they want my birthday, Yeah, but gradually they adapted to it. Yes, so as we keep on evolving, the tech world keeps evolving. One day you have a smartphone, the next day you have a personal digital assistant like the Series, Alexas, I tell a house lights on and the lights come on, you know. Yeah, so yes, obviously there are incidences when you watch in the movies, you know, someone enters a steam room and then the door locks and then the steam, you know. And yes, because their security, their systems have been hacked into. So how we can is being more aware of it, finding out what can we do to make our security better. Yes, finding the right people to talk to, the right sources to read from, you know. I believe there are books on cybersecurity, there is information online. So not being so rigid in that, nothing I have is important, because you don't know what confidential information is until it's stolen, right? Yes, you'll be there saying, I'm not, you know, I'm not so rich. Even though someone gets my information, you know, what can happen until
it happens.
Then you begin to regret. Yes.
Okay, so you would agree that Uganda's list is somewhere?
Yes, yes.
When it comes to fighting that vice?
Yes, we are.
Okay, but we don't have to relax at the end of the day, because you watch the things and you're like, in the movies, that in those other countries, we're still a developing nation, you know, and we tend to relax. Okay, I just moved to you. And would you love to add thoughts to her advice?
Cybersecurity? Well, she said it all.
Because it's really, it's kind of unique. I'm thinking there's really a lot that has to be done as a nation, not to fold our hands. There has to be maybe investments or orientation going through organizations. Have you tried to move like around? Because you have where you are, it's a girls thing. Reaching out to the fellow youth out there who want to be part of it and learn more to do with cybersecurity. But has there been like a training? Do you do those follow-ups, go to the different organizations, or maybe advise police at the end of the day, the security organs in the nation, that we brace ourselves? Of course, there are those campaigns that have been going through creating telling the individuals to be alert, to be on the lookout. Have you had such campaigns go through from your organization, or trainings, orientation, to send a signal that Uganda has to wake up?
Oh, okay, from my end, not yet, but we are yet to do that as well. Yes, because currently, yes, they are focusing on Africa, but I believe they'll go country by country soon and gradually. Yes. Yes.
So it is a process that have started to like create awareness in the different nations.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's a way, you know how Africans tend to do things. There will be that bit of relaxation. So I want us to also be up there, to be at some level where we cannot be taken up by surprise as Uganda, and there's still our information.
Okay. Yes. Obviously, after this particular training, I'm looking at awareness, right? Both in the whole country, right? Getting them to be aware of their security, because many times when it happens, like I said earlier, people want to cover it up. They don't want to talk about it. It's like an elephant in the room, but no one. It's an abomination, Like, what is this even? What is hacking? You know, so making people aware of it and letting them know how they can protect themselves.
But at least you've heard of several cases here in Uganda.
Yes.
When, yes. Okay, common, a few that you can cite out, the common ones.
The most common one is usually when phones would get stolen at campus, right? And mostly ladies would have these sensitive pictures and information, and you find someone is blackmailing you for it, right? Yes, that's the most common incident. Recently, I think a few years back, I think Airtel had also been hacked at some point. Yes, it was in the newspapers. Yes, but the topic wasn't really
overly emphasized or given the gist.
Like people didn't even change their pins. I can assure you. People are like, Castor, it wasn't my account.
It wasn't my account. My money is still safe on my MM.
Exactly.
And they let it pass.
Yes. So it's like the thing happens, then people just forget about it. Except those who are
affected. That's the relaxation I'm talking about. The laxity. I mean, do we really have to be on our toes with the experience that you've had?
Okay, I believe after ensuring these putting these things in place, like the preventive measures, I believe you can.
Ugandans will be more alert.
Yes. You can be more alert, and then also relax and be like, okay, I've done my part, you know. Yeah.
Let's wait and see.
Wait and see what happens. Well, Carol, before we let you go, some of the innovations that you'd love to see in place when it comes to Uganda, for the safety of of all the Ugandans out there, some of the innovations. You talked about the app when it comes to the ultrasound. What more better innovations would you love to see in a nation so that we don't have to struggle and be like, I have to cross over to another continent to get this particular treatment or to get the right diagnosis?
Okay, thank you very much for that one. Well, the innovations, honestly, innovations are actually there, and there are very many, but it would be, it's more like a baby. Take the baby steps and not pressurize one into, because also some of these apps coming up, they get into self-diagnosis, which is not right. Because when someone will actually know, oh yeah, there is this app, I can just enter my body weight, enter my temperature, maybe they have a thermometer at home, I enter my body temperature, and then I enter my this and the other, probably I take my blood pressure measurements, and so I can enter them in, and the app will just give me what it says. But that comes with its own challenges as well, because digital health, it is just a tool. It is not the end in itself, I must say. And it has been stated even by the World Health Organization. It is not the end in itself. And so, what innovations can we come up with? Currently, we are on the right step, I must say, yes. Because when I look at national medical stores, it has come up with a system where hospitals do not have to first travel to send in their requisitions for the drugs they need, the vaccines, the equipment. All they have to do is get online, enter in their requisitions of we need this, we need this, we need this. That is for the national hospitals. And so the national medical stores collect all these requisitions online and then brings them in and then deploys them to the different facilities that need all these maybe vaccines or equipment and things like that. Even Ministry of Health is through certain organizations is sending out systems for management of patient data, let's say the clinic master and all these other systems that are being used in different facilities, so that even for example Telerad looks at combining or bringing radiologists together to think through a particular diagnosis. Maybe you take an image, an MRI image or a CT scan, and then you upload this image. Then you have all these different radiologists or radiology technicians and technologists coming on board, and they suggest, they're like, oh, I can see this, maybe this bone is broken, but this one is like this. And so all of them bring their minds together. And so that is also part of the technology that is coming up. Yeah, concerning the other things that must come up, well, there are a number of innovations. Honestly,
we need the
technology is wide. Technology is so wide, but where we are now, we are on the right track. We are on the right track, and I believe with continual input, we'll keep getting there. Because we don't expect a nation to be born in one day, for it just out of the blue.
All the systems have been put in place.
Yes, because we need trainings. People must be trained. People must be sensitized about all these things. It's like when you want to give a child a phone, you know, you first tell them, you cannot use it for this. Don't go to this app. Don't use this one. Don't enter
download this.
Things like that. So there is all this training that must first happen, and sensitization, including even cybersecurity. There are things, like she said, you don't know what information is confidential until it
whatever they land on, it's not important. I don't even have too much money. That's how we go thinking before it lands on you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Ella, just a word from you that you'd love to share with the viewer or the fellow women out there. As we wind up and go for the live broadcast.
All right. Well, ICT is a wide, as you've seen, it's really a wide it has a wide scope, right? And yes, you can become a computer engineer, software engineer, or you choose to do cyber security like I did. It's not really easy, should I say. You'll need to give it time. Usually people want fast things, fast food, fast what, but you need to give it time, right? You need to be consistent, be dedicated, and in the end, the results show for themselves. Yes, because you're able to do so much more than you would have done before, so able to help so many people that really need your help. You know, make them aware, sensitize them. Obviously, you're going to face some barriers, some challenges in the way. But yes, I really encourage women in the world to look to it and pursue it vigorously. Yes.
Wow. Thank you, Ella, for your time, the cybersecurity specialist. Thank you, Carol, once again for honoring the invitation. I'm sure for those who needed clarification have had it now. My name is Sandra Kahune. Like we promised, the national broadcaster, a lot of updates coming your way. We shall take you for more information that is coming through from Monyonyo. Thank you for watching today's episode. God bless you. Have a lovely day.